So we are still talking about the little tweaks and changes I make to my women's strength and conditioning sessions and why I make them, because I'm training just women. And we're going to talk a bit about cardio today. So if we do cardio at all, and we usually do, it's short and it's sharp. And I do it for two reasons. Number one, long periods of cardio, so in excess of 20 minutes or thereabouts, can contribute to the cortisol load in your body. And we know from past talks, cortisol is your stress hormone. So when a body's hormones balanced, it doesn't matter so much. However, the majority of my female clients are in a constant low level anxiety sort of state. And I want to avoid contributing to that stress load any more than I have to. There is a little bit with exercise, but there's an overwhelming endorphin rush as well. But once we start going long, especially hard and long, we start to erode that favorable balance. There's a course that I will put in the comments. It's called Stress Management Through Movement for Women's Hormonal Health. That will help you with prescribing movement in a way that helps to balance her body rather than kick it out of sync. And the second reason I do short, sharp cardio is to get the reactions I want from these women's bones and muscles. Foremost in my brain is in 10, 20, 30 years, all these women will be elderly, depending on how old they are now. Sarcopenia, muscle loss, affects women twice the rate of men. Osteoporosis, bone loss, affects women twice the rate of men. Dementia affects women twice the rate of men. All those things can be mitigated, reversed, slowed down, stopped by exceedingly hard, exceedingly short exercise. So to get those reactions, I need intervals so hard that they cannot physically repeat them more than 4 times, say, if that. I need multi-directional plyometric weight-bearing movement, and I can't get this from 30 minutes on a treadmill. So what do I mean when I say hard and short? So let's think, if we do cardio, it's no longer than 10 minutes total. Okay, no more than 10 minutes total, of which maybe 4 minutes will be work, because the intervals should be that hard and that huffy puffy that they need a few minutes rest. Some of the formats I do are more effective than others. I have a huge range of female clients, from elderly people that can hardly lift 2 kilos to sprightly young mums that can lift 150 kilos. So for most people, getting to that intensity is quite hard, no matter how young and sprightly they are. And this is where the games come in, and why I incorporate games as a matter of routine. Because more often than not, to get their cardio, we're doing piggy in the middle with a medicine ball. You should try that if you have never done it, because the load, the throwing, the side to side shuffling meets all that criteria for the bone changes I'm after. But they're not thinking about it. They're laughing and they're playing a game, and there's connection and community. It's fabulous. Noughts and crosses is another easy one. You just make them sprint back and forth with either their dumbbell or their weight plate. So it's noughts and dumbbells, not noughts and crosses. Or rob the nest is another one. And then I time the intervals, 30 seconds, whatever. Play it with tires. You will get their heart rates right up. Or make an obstacle course like a 9-year-old. Just getting them sort of landing and climbing and moving in different ranges and different ways is just fantastic for the complexity of their brain, the complexity of their coordination and nervous system through their body, as well as loading it and pulling on the bones in different ways. So obviously for many women, I have to modify some of these intervals because they have pelvic floor dysfunction. But every single one of the mums that I train now has progressed through our Return to Exercise, Restore Your Core and Pelvic Floor program. So I know exactly where they're at. I know exactly what good sore is and what bad sore is, and what symptoms they're going to get when they're going to get a flare. I know who has a prolapse and who doesn't. I know who can box jump and who needs to do step ups. I've got it across the board. So really valuable skills. But if you're going to do cardio, even like my sessions are now an hour, but even when they were half an hour, it was short, sharp, like assault bike, rower, 20 seconds on, 3 minutes off. Okay? I'll see you next week.